I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. And this is the New World Podcast, where we are speaking about NXT April 7th, 2026. Vic and Booker on commentary. The aftermath, if you will, of Stand and Deliver in St. Louis. We got new champs. They're going to speak tonight. And to start the show off, we have Tony D'Angelo, who is our new men's NXT champion. He says it took a long time to get here, but he's here. This is part of his phase quest, as I'm going to call it. He says there's nobody that's going to take this title because I have an iron fist around it. And here comes Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry. He comes out. Then here comes Ethan. Then here comes Ricky. And, you know, they all want a shot again at the NXT championship. But I feel it's time we move on, you know, and we move to different things. And I'm glad that we keep one of these feuds going at the end of the show because Dark State attacks. Yes, Dark State, Timu Shield. And this will set up some chaos to begin this show with. And as we cut to commercial and then come back, they're backstage. All of them, they're pissed. They're angry. And Mr. Stone is there. And he's just like, all right, Joe, Tony, Ethan, Ricky, go get ready. Because later on at the top of the hour, you will take on Dark State in a 4-on-4 match. And I was like, woo, baby, let's go. Then we have Sol Roca versus Izzy Dame, and Sol had a match with her friend, former friend, Zarya, and we thought that would be the end of it. Well, some thought that would be the end of it. I did not think it was going to be the end of it because I was like, there's no way. We have unfinished business that we need to attend to because it needs to come down to Sol and Zarya having one huge match with a stipulation in it. Loser leaves NXT? Oh, that could be a good way to send Sol Ruka off to the main roster. I feel it's Sol's time. Zarya still has a lot to work on. But, you know, that could be. Loser leaves NXT. In the next 2 weeks, they have this NXT Revenge. So we could set up the stipulation, you know, we'll see what happens, but there's some good matches for those two shows in the next coming weeks for NXT Revenge. I like the name. It's their backlash, you know, after Stand and Deliver. Then we have, during this match, Zarya spears Sol for Izzy Dame to get the win. And Izzy is pissed, they said in the commentary, she was pissed because she was not at Stand and Deliver. Rightfully so. I love Izzy Dame. I just think the culling is something that's just not for her, if I would say. As much as I love Shawn Spears and I love the idea of this group, I think Izzy can shine elsewhere. What you are doing? My cat is like bumping into this stand. I'm trying to talk. What? What do you want? Why are you looking at me like that? Huh? You want to say something? I'm just getting these eyes, folks. They're just giving me these eyes. Then we go backstage with Mr. Stone and Vanity Project. They're in Mr. Stone's office, and Blake Monroe comes in. Blake lost her match to Tatum, and I saw this custom belt that Vanity Project had, and they're presenting it to Blake Monroe. But I was like, but she lost. They made a custom North American Championship, pink and hell mixed into one. And Mr. Stone's like, I don't understand what's going on. She's not champion. Like, that she shouldn't be rocking that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it either. Like, if she was champion, she got that championship, that would make sense, right? Right? Okay. Then we go into the who's of this bunch here. I know Elio LaFleur, then Dorian Van Dux, and Ek Prosper. And I'm like, who? Who are these guys? LaFleur's the only one I know. And apparently he's hurt. Well, yeah, and we're going to have a speed tournament going on to determine the next Speed champion. Then we go into Keanu versus Jasper versus Josh Briggs and meat and meat action. These big boys are going to get in that ring and they're going to wrestle. And this was a good triple threat match. With these three, you cannot contain. There was a moment where Keanu just knocks Jasper's ass right over the ropes where I was just like, hot damn! Jasper flew, wee! But overall, Keanu Carver's the one they're really pushing to be this monster. I think Jasper and Josh have more, especially Jasper. Jasper has more of a character that I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. But Keanu Carver just seems like, I don't know, just that unstoppable monster. They've done this before, yeah. Keanu did get the win. Then we get Shiloh and Tatum sitting backstage. They got a mixed tag team match that was set up earlier in the night with Vanity Project and Monroe. They're going to take on Shiloh and Tatum. We're going to take on Jackson, Drake, and Monroe later on. And then here comes Ricky. Ricky is like, why y'all giggling? All y'all do is giggle out here. And Shiloh's like, why you mad, bro? Then we get Dark State versus Ethan, Tony, Joe, and Ricky. And this match was awesome, dude. I don't like Dark State. I was like, get them out of here. The real story of this match after Tony, Ethan, and Joe and Ricky get the win over over Dark State was that Ethan kicks Tony in the face just so he can get the pin to win the match. And I was like, you know what? I am cool with Ethan Page and I'm cool with Tony resparking the rivalry. But yeah, Ethan, Tony, and Joe and Ricky got the win. Miles is backstage, well, no, that's later on. Jada Parker package, she's going to have a last woman standing match with Kalani Jordan. I'm like, hell yeah. At NXT Revenge, we go into the speed match, Lexus versus Chaz Starboy Hall. Who the hell approved that? The overalls and all, too. I think this kid's from Evolve or something. I don't know. I watched like a couple episodes and I was like, all right, just tap. They did a little package on him, too, to be like, look! And I'm like, man, first of all, the name sucks. Starboy? This is like that Darian Van Dux and Ek Parker. I'm like, Ek, EK, or is it EK Parker? Or EK Prosper? I don't know. But we need to talk to creative and talk about the names here. That's all I'm saying. We go to Mr. Stone, and here's some Miles. And Miles, is Miles. He's the North American champion. And Tony D'Angelo's like, I want Ethan Page. So we get Ethan Page at NXT Revenge. And then they tease Keanu and Tony. And I'm like, all right, I see where you're trying to go with this. Keanu and Tony, but Tony has some unfinished business with all ego Ethan Page. Then we go into my match of the night, Tatum and Shiloh versus Jackson, Drake, and Monroe. And this was a back and forth battle, which I loved every second of it. I was like, oh my God, no, please fight forever. Oh my gosh. Eventually we're going to have a rematch for that North American Championship between Blake and Tatum. But this was an awesome match. I'm really digging Jackson Drake. This kid is really growing on me. And I hate saying this kid, this athlete, this superstar in the making is growing on me. But Jackson, Jake, and Monroe, after some shadiness, they get the win over Tatum and Shiloh, and this ain't over at all. And we get Sarah with Stone. He's announcing everything for NXT Revenge. Joe Hendry's going to have a concert. Joe Hendry. Then we have Kelly Armstrong. Or is it Kelly or Kaylee Armstrong? I know it's K-A or something like that. Package. She don't mess around. She was on food stamps. She was Section 8 housing. And it's like, I've heard this promo before 100 times. So we'll see if Miss Armstrong can really back it up in the ring, because I am not familiar with her at all. Then we go into Lola Vice. our new women's NXT champion after she beat Kendall Gray and JC Jane. Well deserved. And I said in my review, I was kind of torn. I was like, I want Kendall, but I also want Lola, who I feel really deserves it. And I love my girl JC. I feel like she's done a really great run with this championship run and stuff like that. But I think it's time for something new, something fresh. And we in Vice City, baby. Lola Vice, cutting a great promo, saying she's no longer the chick from MMA. She is a superstar. God damn it. But of course, here comes Fatal Influence. JC Jane has something to say about this. She says, I held down this women's NXT division. I deserve my rematch for the championship. And then here comes Mr. Stone. He's like, guess what? Fine. Everybody, Lola, you're fighting champion, blah, blah, blah. Next week, we will have our rematch with JC and Lola for the women's NXT championship. And JC's so happy because she's got what she wants. And then they attack and start a beatdown on Lola Vice. And what I liked about this, what I really enjoyed about this is Lola fought back and fought all of the Fatal Influence plus JC off, standing tall, being like, bring it, bitch, at NXT Revenge. Sorry, I really like saying that. But Lola, standing tall, that's money right there. Money, 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 money. And what's not money, I have it here. You know that song, Seven Nation Army by Jack White, right? Right? The White Stripes, yeah. Dun 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 dun. I noticed that was a theme tonight. The crowd with any name, la 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 la. I forgot who else they did it with. But I was like, stop. I think this is gonna be worse than the what chants. Or get the tables, which was one of them tonight too. But that's it. That's all. Next week we have NXT Revenge. I give the show a solid 3 out of 5. NXT April 7th, 2026. Booker on commentary. Match of the night, Tatum and Shiloh versus Jackson, Drake, and Monroe. Moment of the night. Let's say Lola, standing tall above them all. Watch it, waka waka, drop ya. It's Vice City, baby. But that's it. Drop those comments below. Hit that like and subscribe. My gosh, I can't talk. Hit that like and hit that subscribe. Share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life.
Easy Dave! Zarya with a spear. She came out of the crowd. She came out of the NXT.